गुड मॉर्निंग। हाँ बताइए। यही है काम। एक ही दिन के लिए तो गई थी, फिर से वापस से पूरा स्टे करो, तो वो मुझे थोड़ा रिकॉल करना पड़ेगा। अगर आपको वो है तो मैं वो करके बता दूंगी। और ये क्वेश्चन किस लिए आया, किस रिस्पेक्ट में आया? ओ अच्छा अच्छा, हाँ ये तो आपने उसमें पढ़ा होगा पॉलिटी में। ओके ओके। हाँ ईयर्स का है, एग्जैक्ट का थोड़ा देखना पड़ेगा। ठीक है चलो, गुड मॉर्निंग जी। What were you people doing outside? Isn't the morning good? Why? Chalo, the first news at your slide is a common civil code spelling equality for every Indian. तो हमने common civil code we have discussed UCC in Indian society class, ठीक है। और किस एस्पेक्ट में डिस्कस किया था? While we were discussing about secularism, India is a secular country. So if we say India is a secular country, then we shall have what? Uniform Civil Code replacing the what? Personal laws. तो फिर से आपका ये टॉपिक आ गया यूसीसी का. You have got your notes for UCC there. अब देख लेते हैं इन्होंने बोला क्या है. The 22nd Law Commission has called for responses to a proposal for Uniform Civil Code in India. This has set off a debate which has often been acrimonious, but the debate itself is much needed. Indians have never been consulted on personal laws. Ab, this says that India has been never consulted on the personal laws they are governed by. Now, these laws were instituted by the British colonial government. So, big thing coming here, what? कि जो भी personal laws थे, all the personal laws, those were made, were actually what? Were not consulted by the people of India. Then how come these laws were made? Now these laws were made by the British colonial government. And they made these personal laws without consulting the people. So by giving a cursory hearing to the clergy or religious scholars in the case of religions without one. That means they say that when these personal laws were made, these personal laws were made not by consulting people, but some of the passed by hearings by clergy or the religious scholars. Are you getting how these personal laws were made? Huh? Yeah. These personal laws were made by by having a hearing from the clergy or the religious people. And who made these? British colonial government. ठीक है. So the result was what? It was a religion based set of personal laws for Hindus, Muslims and Christians, and this is the reason why personal laws were what? Were religion based laws. Whether the colonizers did this out of deep concern for the sentiments of the natives or it was intended as another instrument in a strategy of divide and rule in order to hold India is irrelevant, but we should note that the provenance of India's personal laws. Now the question is ki these personal laws that were made by the British or during the British colonial period, we don't know whether they made it out of the religion based or the religion based laws were made by the or under the interest of the religion or it was made for divide and rule. Now personal laws in India are boxed according to the religion or social origin of the citizen. Is it true? समझ आ रहा है यूसीसी? बताया था मैंने, क्या बताया था? यू अच्छा, वेरी स्मार्ट. व्हाट इज यूसीसी? You have to talk to me. So raise your volume. Huh? Thank you. I also know Uniform Civil Code. Other than that, the same set of laws should be governed throughout the territory of India. That means ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए कि if the person is belonging from different religion, so there's different set of law. If a person is belonging from different religion, there's a different set of law. ठीक है? So then we call those personal laws. And when we are calling it personal laws, what are personal laws? According to them, they say that the personal laws that were made not by consulting people. ठीक है? And if they were made not by consulting people, then on what basis they were made? They were made by just a hearing from clergy and the religious people. So what they are saying is that these personal laws are what? Religion based laws. Because whom did you refer? The religious people. Fine. And that is why they are saying कि we don't know why did British brought these laws, personal laws or religious laws. Maybe they brought it what? Out of the concern of the natives, or maybe they were serving their own interest. And what was their interest? That was to bring divide and rule in the country. अभी कर रहे हो ऐसे ऐसे, अभी जब पूछ रही थी तब कुछ नहीं बोल रहे थे. ठीक है? Okay. So personal laws in India are boxed according to the religion or social origin of the system. However, it does not take much to see the fearful symmetry between this. Now, in the entire article, you should know what? That there is a need for uniform civil code applicable to all, irrespective of faith, gender, and sexual orientation. Okay, so now what are the constitutional provisions regarding Uniform Civil Code? Which article deals with Uniform Civil Code? (44). What does Article 44 say? You are right. This is under what? Fundamental rights. Then. Achha. These are under your DPSP that forms a part of Part 4 of your Constitution. So Part 4 and under DPSP. And what does Article 44 says? Now it says that there should be what? There should be a universal law. That means that is throughout the entire territory of India. And this shall be what? The guiding principle of governance. ठीक है. अच्छा, what impact will UCC have in the society? What impact UCC will have in the society? कोई इम्पैक्ट ही नहीं होगा तो बुलाने का फायदा क्या है? They say that there will be more equality and more justice. अब तुम कह सकते हो कि कैसे होगा? Why equality and justice? Why are you smiling? You are not in the favor of UCC? Why? Must be having your set of arguments. Huh? It's a law of majority people. Okay, you want to say that it is a law of majority people which is being forced on the minorities, right? Okay, yes, this is also there in the ills of UCC, that there is this concern among the people that this is being forced onto the minorities because it is of majoritarian's law. And why did they say so? Because different religious practices are favoring different opinions and different concepts. Okay, but to some extent it is okay also. Why? It is giving you a concept of gender empowerment. Why or how? For example, we were having this triple talaq wala issue. Okay, so what was there? The men could actually give the divorce on the 3 words, right? So they said that this is actually creating what? This is actually making another gender weaker. In case if she is not, financially well off, where will she go? There is a proper procedure to have a divorce, so better implement that, so that there could be a proper alimony or maintenance that could be given to that woman. तो कुछ जगह सही है, कुछ जगह you are also correct. You can write about all those negatives also. I have made them read, right? ठीक है? Okay. Should I move ahead? Why are you people laughing? चलो आगे चले. Now this, they say that have you heard about this rupee dirham? No? The news is about ये इकोनॉमी के पर्सपेक्टिव से it is important. Now, RBI and Central Bank of UAE has agreed on July 15 to establish a framework for enabling the use of 2 countries' local currency for cross-border transaction. So, what is the news about? It is about cross-border transaction. And this cross-border transaction is between which currency? Is rupee and dirham. This is the currency of UAE, and this one is for India. And who shall have agreed on this settlement? The one who have made this agreement are RBI and who? Central Bank of UAE. Now, what have been they saying? That we are going to use what? Enabling the use of 2 countries' local currency. So for cross-border transaction, what are you going to do? You are going to enable the use of 2 countries' local currencies. ठीक है, and agreement is between RBI and Central Bank of UAE. Between which currency? Rupee and dirham. Rupee is from India, dirham is from UAE. ठीक है. Now the move towards permitting payments in the Indian rupee and the UAE dirham is aimed at promoting their use bilaterally, thus reducing the dependence on a third country's currency. What is that third country's currency? How are we transacting in the international arena? Huh? Are? Huh. So why have they got this? They have got this to reduce the dependence on third world's currency. And what is that third world's currency? It is US dollar. What else they are saying? That as per the memorandum of understanding, that is MOU, between the two central banks, all current account payments, including those involving the two countries, exporters and importers, and certain permitted capital account transaction could be settled using either the rupee or the dirham. To facilitate settlement, the two banks are set to put in place a local currency settlement. That means there shall be a local currency settlement. All this you can write that how can India's export be improved? How can India's GDP be improved? How will it be improving? See, dollar fluctuates. Indian rupee ke according it is going to fluctuate. ठीक है? So what is going to happen? Sometimes we have to pay more. ठीक है? तो उससे क्या होगा? We are ultimately getting into loss. If the transaction is going to happen in rupee, then वो volatility नहीं रहेगी ना. So we will have a good control over our GDP. समझ आ रहा है ना? चेन समझ आ रही है? Are you getting it? So that is the reason what they are saying, that we shall go for local currency settlement. Other than that, what they have said is, and interlink their payments messaging system also. Okay, that is understood. Now, an immediate beneficial consequence of the establishment of this settlement mechanism would be development of rupee dirham foreign exchange market. So what they are targeting is that rupee dirham foreign exchange market should be made. Okay, that would help in pricing the two currencies independent of their exchange rates with other currencies such as dollar and euros. That means this shall be independent of the exchange rates. And exchange rate with respect to who? Dollar and euro. Yeah, tell me one thing. This topic is so interesting that there is internationalization of rupee and you people are not at all interested or what? यार कुछ इंटरेस्टिंग लग नहीं रहा है इस टॉपिक में. I want to know the reason. You. Is it interesting or not? अच्छा ठीक. You. अच्छा so अच्छा. मतलब when I read this news, I was like, okay, internationalization of rupee is going to happen. Achha, this is how they are thinking about increasing this rupee market and decreasing the dollar's control over the international world. Okay, one go में this is not possible. We also understand that, but at least efforts are being made. और तुम लोग देखो इतना lightly बैठे हुए हैं. हाँ हो रहा है. क्या फर्क पड़ रहा है? चलो ठीक है. Now Indian and Emirates business would not need to factor in exchange rate risk when quoting to supply goods or service. Now this we have covered here, this paragraph. Now the second one says that India UAE local currency settlement could also potentially serve as a precursor for other bilateral currency accords. Now this is going to act as a base for other bilateral currency हाँ जी बिल्कुल आओ. Which, as an RBI interdepartmental group suggested this month, could act as an important first step for internationalization of rupee. इस साल मेंस में कोई भी लिखे ना, सबसे पहले this point is very important that we are talking about what internationalization of rupee. While the idea is laudable, the actual success will hinge on the extent of adoption by business in both nations. Now, with UAE's trade surplus with India, क्या UAE is having what? Trade surplus. Trade surplus का मतलब क्या होता है? क्या? What? Positive effect. अच्छा, okay, yes, it's a positive effect. That's correct. So, पाकिस्तान के साथ we don't have. Check करना. We don't have. तो चेक करना. मना किया गया था. Don't do. बट एंटायरली नहीं है, एंटायरली नहीं, ये चीज नहीं हो पाई थी. नाउ विद यूएई ट्रेड सरप्लस विद इंडिया widening in the months since the bilateral comprehensive economic partnership agreement that came into effect, now what need to be done is that our payments, what they opted for is, so they opted to receive payments in Indian currency, and this is the reason why we have headed towards what, that we are going to use rupee dirham currency for cross border transaction because that country was also ready. ठीक है, one go, tell me what did I told you बिना देखे. बताओ. अरे start answering, I'll tell you, I'll help you out. Where is the issue? सारा तो लिख दिया मैंने सामने सामने. So when you are finding any issue here in understanding, चलो तुम ही बताओ. You tell. Did you understood the issue? Did you understood the facts and figures? What is actually happening? What positivity is going to bring in the trade? समझ आया है? ठीक है, चलो. अब फंसोगे तुम लोग. क्या लिखा हुआ है? हाँ आगे. हाँ. Okay, what is multidimensional poverty? अच्छा, what is multidimensional poverty? पढ़ा है कि नहीं पढ़ा है? नहीं पढ़ा, बोल तो नहीं पढ़ा है. अरे मैं कहाँ पढ़ा था? अच्छा वो एक कह रही है पढ़ा ही होगा, तुम ही बता दो. अच्छा जब पढ़ा हुआ है तो ये बताओ, व्हाट इज मल्टी डायमेंशनल पॉवर्टी इंडेक्स. फैक्टर्स तो पूछ ही नहीं रही मैं. You have studied Suhan? हाँ, कहाँ पढ़ा है? कहाँ कहाँ? सोसाइटी क्लास में? कौन लिया सोसाइटी की क्लास? Now, India has registered a significant decline of 9.89 percentage points in the number of multidimensionally poor from 24% in 2015 to 14% in 2019, says the National Multidimensional Poverty Index, a Progress Review 2023, and this was released by Niti Aayog. Now, what does this report says or the study says? The study says that nearly 13.5 crore people came out of multidimensional poverty during the period, assessed by identifying acute deprivations in health, education, and standard of living. So, multidimensional poverty index comprised of what? Health, education, and standard of living. And using the United Nations approved parameter, the report said rural area witnessed the fastest decline in poverty from 32% to 19%, mainly due to decrease in number of multidimensional poor in states such as Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Odisha, Rajasthan, Delhi, Kerala, Goa, and Tamil Nadu have and Rajasthan till here. Delhi, Kerala, Goa, and Tamil Nadu have the least number of people facing multidimensional poverty, along with the union territories. Now, state is not important. Agar aap, if you could recall, then it's okay. You can study this chart. What is important about this chart? The chart says, or the chart shows, that top 5 states with the highest share of population with multidimensional poverty according to the latest Niti Aayog report. और report कौन सी है? The report is National Multidimensional Poverty Index, a progress review 2023. So this is the name of the report by Niti Aayog. और क्या report रही है? The report is that top 5 states with highest share of population will multi-dimensional poverty according to the latest Niti Aayog report. ठीक है, अब Uttar Pradesh has registered the largest decline in the number of poor, with 3 crore people escaping multi-dimensional poverty. That means हमारा health sector has improved, हमारी education, not sector, other मतलब infant mortality and all this has improved, education has improved, and standard of living has improved. Health का parameter क्या है? How do you know that the health of a state has improved or the people of those states उनकी health improve हुई है? If they are getting enough of nutrition, if maternal mortality is checked, या ये reduce हुआ है, and child mortality is reduced. ठीक है, एजुकेशन, हाँ एजुकेशन बताओ। तुम लोग जाते हो घर पे जाके नोट्स कबाड़ में भेज देते हो क्या? तो क्या करते हो? रख दिया, सोसाइटी ओवर, अब नया सब्जेक्ट लाया जाए। Suman, you are also there, talking to you also. He has shifted his place this time. Why should I be center of attraction? He should also be there. School में देखो, if you have to count what year of schooling कितना है of children's, and what is the attendance of students in the school. ठीक है, याद है यहाँ पे कितना था? 1/3. What was the contribution? 1/3. तुमसे अच्छे तो यार मैं ही हूँ, कम से कम याद तो है मुझे। 1/18 था। अच्छा, यहाँ 1/18 हो जाएगा। दिस इज ऑल्सो 1/3 सब फैक्टर। स्टैंडर्ड ऑफ लिविंग में क्या आएगा? स्टैंडर्ड ऑफ लिविंग में आपका आ जाएगा कुकिंग फ्यूल, सैनिटेशन, ड्रिंकिंग वाटर, इलेक्ट्रिसिटी, हाउसिंग एक्सेट्रा। लिखूं या सही है? ठीक है, पेपर पढ़ते हो? आयु पेपर नहीं, बहुत अच्छे। You तो are reading newspaper. Some of the time I have catched you doing so. ठीक है, should I move ahead? क्या है न्यूज बताओ। ये पूरी न्यूज तुम ही बताओगे अब। रीड। इंडिया फ्रांस, हाँ पढ़ो पढ़ो। क्या है न्यूज? नहीं नहीं तुम पढ़ो, ये डिटेलिंग लेगा फिर। What do you mean by this statement? Suvan, I didn't give you an option to do this. I just asked you. What is there? It says that India, France, and what keeps their ties ticking. That means कि India and France are having good relations. So what is the reason behind this? That India and France are going good. You have done ना यार? चलो बताओ। अच्छा, see, I understand it is difficult कि you are reading out every country until unless you have your PSIR optional. But still, what do you think? What could be the reason that India and France ties are good or still going on? And it's going on right from the time when Nehru ji was there. Like वहाँ से। फर्स्ट पैराग्राफ में तो इंट्रोडक्शन दिया हुआ है। नाउ सेकंड में who has written this article? The article is written by Suhasini Heather. So the next paragraph, what does this paragraph say is the philosophy behind the relationship. It says that throughout their relationship, New Delhi and Paris. How many of you want to go to Paris? तुमको तो घूमना बहुत पसंद है, आप चले जाओ। throughout the relationship, New Delhi and Paris have built a tradition of joining each other's National Day parades. Chirag himself was guest at India's Republic Day twice. That is, chalo, this one is okay. Now, both countries have held on their three pillars in the relationship. That means they are talking about that India और France का जो relationship है has been maintained well because of the three parameters. तो उन्होंने क्या कहा है कि three pillars of India and France relationship are, first is three pillars in the relationship. And this three pillars in the relationship between India and France first pillar is that there will be non-interference in each other's internal affairs. So the first one is non-interference in each other's internal affairs. That means the first pillar of the first pillar in the relationship between India and France is that both the countries are not going to interfere in each other's internal affairs. Done? ना तुम इंटरफेयर करोगी ना मैं करूंगी, ठीक है? Then we'll keep going good. जहां इंटरफेयर किया वहां गड़बड़ हो जाएगा. So non-interference in each other's internal affairs, a steadfast belief in the strategic autonomy as expressed by Prince Charles and non-alignment as expressed by Jawaharlal Nehru. That means what has the president of France said? That there will be a belief in what? The strategic autonomy of the country. So the second pillar is belief in the strategic autonomy of the country. थर्ड क्या बोला है? सॉरी, सेकंड में ही क्या है? स्टेट पास बिलीफ इन स्ट्रैटेजिक ऑटोनॉमी एंड नॉन अलाइनमेंट. एंड लास्ट में उन्होंने क्या बोला है? अ रिफ्यूजल टू द पुल टू द अदर इनटू इट्स ओन कोएलिशंस एंड अलायंसेस. सो यहाँ पे उन्होंने बोला है थर्ड में क्या? स्ट्रैटेजिक ऑटोनॉमी ऑफ द कंट्री एंड नॉन अलाइनमेंट. एंड थर्ड में बोला है refuse to pull other into its own coalition. What do you mean by the third statement? Refuse to pull other into its own coalition. This current affair is so interesting. Don't do this. इससे ज्यादा इंटरेस्टिंग तो तुम लोग स्टैटिक सब्जेक्ट की क्लास में रहते हो. करंट में पता नहीं क्या हो जाता है. What do you mean by the third statement? The third statement says refuse to pull other into its own coalition. France is अच्छा UNSC में Who are the permanent members? Acha, how many are the permanent members? Permanent members. Is France one of those? So when France, अब देखो आप लोग का स्टार्ट नहीं हुआ है, कोई बात नहीं. France is a permanent member in UNSC. Is France a member of NSG? Is France a member of NATO? France is, ठीक है. Now France is a member of NATO. France is not pulling India to join NATO. So this is what the third statement says, that you will not try to influence each one so that you are going to join into one's or another's coalition. For example, France is a member of NATO. It is not going to force India to come and join NATO. Okay? So this shall act as one of the pillar of strength for these countries, that is India and France. Okay, so since France is a member of NATO, France will respect what independency of India to have their own decision and will not try to influence it. So एक reason ये है. And another one, they said that there will be strategic autonomy of country and non-alignment. Strategic autonomy of the country का मतलब क्या होता है? अब anything, any act which the country feels that it is going to be good for its own country, उसके लिए क्या होगा? They will take the decision by themselves. That is strategic autonomy. And non-alignment means, for example, अभी क्या हुआ था कि European Union, there's European Union, and there was they were having this discussions in their parliament. So they have criticized India. And criticized India for what? They have criticized India for the Manipur crisis and the way India is handling Manipur crisis. See? And then too, France didn't speak a word against India. France could have done so कि यूरोपियन यूनियन में ऐसी बात हो रही है, लेकिन फ्रांस ने कोई स्टैंड नहीं लिया है. Why? Because France said that it is your internal affairs. Had France said anything, तो फिर थोड़ा दिक्कत हो जाती. Why? Because हमारे जो 3 pillars in the relationship of India and France हैं, that is based on this, that you are not going to interfere in our internal, both of us. Neither we are going to interfere nor you are going to interfere in our internal matters. Second thing, we both will have this policy of what? Strategic autonomy and non-alignment. And third, will not pull each other into our own coalition. जो भी हमारा मन करेगा हम उसे join करेंगे. Both of us will respect each other's privacy. ठीक है? So this is acting as 3 pillars of strength of relationship between India and France. Now my question will be that why do you think that France is having so much of interest, or why is France so much influenced by India? Why do you think? क्या हो सकता है reason? Suppose she is France, you are India. Why do you think France will be interested in India? Trade? Only trade? Definitely economic interest is prime, that is true. लेकिन अगर ऐसा क्वेश्चन आएगा 150 वर्ड में सिर्फ लिख दोगे ट्रेड, आंसर ओवर. व्हाट एल्स? ट्रेड तो चाइना के साथ भी हो सकता है. People say China is also tough competitor for what? Superpower. What others? What kind of powers are there? Hello? Isn't our soft power very good also? What is soft power all about? You will do it in IR. It's all about our cultural and all, tradition, culture, etc. तो देखो अब इसमें क्या है कि the president of France has praised India's role in bringing what disparate global positions together, where in the field of space, in the field of nuclear energy, and in the field of defense. Now, France has praised India for having good development here. Now, what else has France said? That it has actually confessed that what? That the youth of today is having what? Attraction towards India's culture and tradition. इसका सबसे बड़ा एग्जाम्पल क्या है? ट्रेडिशन. या इसका सबसे बड़ा उन्होंने क्या बोला कि एग्जाम्पल इज अ टीनेज अटेम्प्ट टू लर्न संस्कृत, एंड दिस टेल्स अबाउट दैट हाउ good India culture and tradition is. So attempt to learn Sanskrit. Acha, how do you want this PDF? You want it clean or you want it written? Both ways? Okay. Attempt to learn Sanskrit. Sorry, attempt to learn Sanskrit. So what is going to happen? It is a means of establishing what? The democratic choices, attachment to secularism, coexistence of different people, language was called on the play in the aim of creating a more equally balanced world. So what did France said? That what is India having? That means why India is playing a big role in developing a equally balanced world. तो उसका reason क्या है? So they said that there in India we are having what? Coexistence of different people, language, culture, and this shall lead to what? More of a balanced world. ठीक है? इसमें they have said that even though European Parliament has criticized India over the violence in Manipur, all the allegations of human rights violations, see, what has European Parliament highlighted about India? First, उन्होंने कहा है कि violence in Manipur. Second is allegation of human rights violation. Third, they have said intolerance towards minorities and curbing civil society freedoms. This was discussed in the this was discussed among the member of the parliament in Europe. Other than that, what you need to do is about the strategic partnership. That is, in strategic sphere, France has publicly announced that it disapproves what? NATO plus partnership plans that would see the transatlantic alliances built direct ties with Japan, Australia, New Zealand, South Korea, and even India. Have you heard about NATO plus? आपने किया है? Okay, so you had done NATO? ये किया हुआ है? Okay, now they have brought this NATO plus. So NATO plus में what they are doing is that they are expanding their partnership, and when they are expanding their partnership, under that what they are trying to do is that they are trying to build ties with Japan, they are trying to build ties with Australia, New Zealand, South Korea, and even India. तो इंडिया ने तो खैर डिनाई कर दिया है. India has denied. Fine. So you for IR portion में you people जो भी मतलब you will do IR, so you can ask the person whosoever is taking to discuss about the NATO plus also. Fine. Now, okay, it is there that External Affairs Minister said that NATO is not a template that applies to India. Now, our External Affairs Minister has completely disagreed for this alliance, and they have said that NATO के जो agreements हैं and templates हैं, that doesn't go well with India. So as a result, despite a push from several countries, the NATO summit in this month dropped the mention of this project. India-France roadmap on Indo-Pacific released clarifies that neither side is attempting to pull the other into its regional military coalitions. So this says that neither India nor France are trying to pull each other into their military coalitions. ठीक है, this article is very important. आप if you're going to just read it for one go, you'll get all the good points, so that if a question is there about how India and France ties are there, you can write about it. Very beautifully written article. ठीक है. Now France, क्या है इसमें key takeaways? Like up till now, अभी let me do this and I'll tell you. France was cool to plan for Quad Plus coalition, first floated in 2020, which were more or less dropped after US-France rift over AUKUS agreement. And what is AUKUS? That is Australia, US, and UK. So there was a rift that happened in the AUKUS agreement, that is Australia, UK, US. कौन सी agreement है ये? UK, US. A for Australia, UK, US. ठीक है. So France is also the only country the Indian Navy has conducted joint patrols with so far, and further plans could involve the use of French international territories in reunion. While India's ties with each of the P5 countries is unique, the feature that sets apart the India-France relationship is this, that geopolitically they do what? Value judgments and no pressure to align their positions. ठीक है. Now you tell me, what are the key takeaway from this article of India and France? इस article में what are the important key takeaways? If I tell you to concise this, what will you say? हाँ, अरे सारा तो लिख दिया है. पहला लिखोगे क्या? What are the three pillars of strength? This is important. You should know what is the pillar of strength. क्या क्या है pillar of the strength में? First is non-interference. Second क्या है? Strategic autonomy and non-alignment. And third is that they are not going to pull each other in military coalition. एक take away ये हो गया. ठीक है. Second, I told you, I asked you that how come France is so much interested in India? So they have given the reason for that. Ki India is acting one of the very important part in the world, And what is the reason that they are acting as one of the most important part in the world? Because they are going to create what? Equally balanced world. And what is the reason and how they are going to create that equally balanced world? They are saying that because in India we are having what? Coexistence of different people, language and culture. इसका मतलब क्या हुआ? Because we believe in diversity. So since in India there is a lot of diversity and we are balancing this diversity very well, so at international world, don't give me that cunning smile. So in international world also what we are going to do is we are going to maintain this diversity, and that is the real reason why we are the strong contender of what? Creating a equally balanced world. दूसरा पॉइंट ये हो गया. तीसरा, France has appreciated India what? Its progress in space, nuclear energy and defense technology. बहुत ये हो गया. ठीक है. Now what else they have said? That our culture and tradition is very strong. How? Because there are attempts from the teenagers to learn Sanskrit. ठीक. And then we came towards this, that what is the strategic partnership? Now the strategic partnership says that यहाँ पे ये चीज very important है. Keep it in your mind. Whosoever is taking your IR class, please ask the person to tell you about the NATO plus agreement. वैसे मैंने आपको बता दिया है कि what is NATO plus agreement? NATO plus agreement is all about adding more countries to this NATO. And who are those countries that in being approached to be added on NATO? It is your Japan, Australia, New Zealand, South Korea and even India. India को भी approach किया गया था, but our Minister for External Affairs has denied. And why they have denied? They said that the NATO template doesn't go well with India. तो India का जो this international और इनके जो principles हैं, that is not going okay with the templates that NATO countries are having. ठीक. So one takeaway is this, and the another takeaway is that France was very cool with the Quad agreement. Quad में कौन कौन सी countries हैं? You have to do about Quad. So Quad में क्या है? Now France was very cool with Quad plus, यानी Quad में more countries being added. So France was cool with this Quad plus having more countries into the Quad. But हुआ क्या था कि there was a rift that happened in the AUKUS agreement. And what is this AUKUS agreement? That agreement is between Australia, UK and US. ठीक है. So when there is a rift that happened between US, UK and Australia, then the issue began, and then that's the reason why Quad plus couldn't be materialized well. ठीक है. Did you got all the points from this article? वैसे तो मैं आपको ये प्रिंट आउट दे दूंगी PDF, but have you understood? चलो बताओ क्या बताया मैंने. हाँ, अब कोई नहीं बोलेगा. ये बताते बताते पूरी बॉटल खाली हो गई है. Has it gone well with you in your minds? Okay, आगे चले. A push for GM mustard disregarding science, the law. Haven't seen anything. A push for GM mustard disregarding science and law. Now, why has this GM mustard been in news? Okay, so there was a determined battle by the. Am I going very fast? Are you people able to understand? समझ नहीं आ रहा है क्या तुम्हें? ठीक है. A determined battle by the environmentalists in the Supreme Court of India against Delhi University's genetically modified सो सुप्रीम कोर्ट में बैटल किसके अगेंस्ट है? दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी जेनेटिकली मॉडिफाइड herbicide tolerant mustard is all that stands between GM food and Indian farmer and consumer. Now GM crops are quite different from conventional varieties and hybrid, such as those developed by farmers, agriculture research institutions and companies. Biotechnologists insert the select gene at a random location in the DNA of a plant to develop a GM crop. Now you will know here how is GM crop formed. The insertion makes a GM crop express trait that it ordinarily would not. For instance, GM mustard has been altered to withstand the broad spectrum of what plant killer or the herbicide glufosinate. Now this makes it easier to develop hybrid mustard seeds for higher yield, and farmers growing GM mustard can spray herbicides to kill all plant except the mustard. That means they are what? They could actually they are herbicide tolerant. So if herbicide is sprayed on them, these GM mustard crops will actually sustain without having any impact on GM crops. तो डिबेट किस चीज का है? नाउ द environmentalists, scientists, politicians, farmers and consumers and higher judiciaries have asked probing questions about safety, efficacy and even the very necessity of GM food. So the question is being arising that what is the necessity to bring these GM food? Now, many have been alarmed by the experience of BT cotton, the first and only GM crop approved in the country. What was that? BT cotton. Long-term research suggests that BT cotton has provided only fleeting benefits to farmers while enormously increasing their cost of cultivation and risk. On the other hand, some seed companies have profited handsomely from the experience of GM seeds. Now, what is the issue behind this article? The issue is that GM mustard crop mein, there are certain issues that have been encountered. And when these issues have been encountered, what is happening? There is an unnecessarily push that is being given to the GM mustard disregarding science and law. Matlab, scientists are saying no, law is saying no, but unnecessarily it is being pushed without having a clear chit. Okay? So for you, what becomes important here is that you should know what is this GM crop about. और ये आपका important science and tech portion से भी आ जाएगा. So you should know about GM mustard. You should know about the implicacies. ठीक है? And you should know what about the regulations. So what are the implications? Now, working across an interval of 5 years, the two committees unanimously has highlighted what major weakness in the regulatory system and call for utmost caution before releasing GM food. So what is this? What are they saying? The Committee on Science and Technology, Environment and Forest made a specific reference to GM mustard and asked the government to conduct a thorough, independent and transparent assessment of long-term biosafety, environmental risk and socio-economic impacts. 5 of the 6 members pointed out to grave deficiencies in the safety assessment of GM crops. Ab socho, what? There, the members have highlighted what? That there is a grave deficiency. grave deficiency in the safety assessment. They found the HT crops completely unsuitable in the Indian context. Matlab what they are saying that the GM mustard crop is completely unsuitable and unsuitable for what in the Indian context. Okay, and when it is completely unsuitable in the Indian context, and they have warned it for what? Serious harm to the environment, rural livelihood and sustainable agriculture. So harmful in what context? They are saying that it is harmful to the environment, rural livelihood and agriculture. Okay, so this is a case of decisive convergence among the scientists and the people's elected representative. This is a compelling case as can be against the releasing of an empty crop, hybrid transgenic crops, and for comprehensively strengthening regulation before allowing GM food. So do you think this is important? Are you understanding the article? They have given what? They have given a pass for the GM mustard and they have overlooked completely what? Science and law. Law मतलब एक protocols होते हैं. If you are going to bring this crop into the market, so this crop should actually what? Satisfy these conditions. और उसको क्या कर दिया गया? Completely outlook कर दिया गया. So won't it be injurious to people? And this is what they are saying, that it is going to be very harmful to the environment, to rural livelihood and agriculture. You don't know what you are ultimately going to face. समझ आ रहा है? समझ आना चाहिए. डिटेलिंग आप कहीं से भी पढ़ लोगे, कोई इशू नहीं है. You should at least know what is happening. The article is what is all about. क्या है बताओ? अब नीचे देखने लग जाओ. ठीक है, यहाँ पे देखो. Now what is all the issue about? Now instead what the government is pushing ahead with GM mustard with reckless disregard of both science and law. समझ रहे हो? Who is pushing out? Government. Disregarding what? Science and law. So for instance, it has not placed the full biosafety dossier of GM mustard in the public domain. Matlab the public doesn't even know about the total biosafety. So that dossier is not even placed before the public. And despite the provision of Right to Information Act, that means you people have what? RTI, and you have got the right to information, still the biosafety dossier is not being released in the public. ठीक है, उसके बाद क्या बोला है? And a declaration to this effect by GEAC, that is your Genetic Engineering Appraisal Committee of the Environment Ministry, nor is it adequately responding to the criticism from the agriculture scientists that is already available non-GM mustard hybrids have better yields than GM mustard. That means your non-GM mustard hybrids are having better yields as compared to your GM mustards. ठीक है, सो GM मस्टर्ड के लिए इतना करना था. क्या है रिपोर्ट? India reports a record 93% DPT immunization coverage in 2022. This is a report by WHO. What do you understand by this? डीपीटी क्या है? व्हाट डू यू अंडरस्टैंड बाय डीपीटी? अच्छा, साइंस एंड टेक आपने भी पढ़ा नहीं है। यू मैम मेरे पीछे ही पड़ जाओ बस। डीपीटी, डी इज डिप्थेरिया, P is your pertussis, and T is your tetanus. सुना हुआ है? Thank God. Now, if you look at the graph, what is this graph about? The graph is saying that take a look at DTP3 coverage rate over the years according to WHO's estimate of national immunization coverage in India. That means 2000 mein the coverage was close to 58%. It started rising with the coming years, and 2022 we have got 93% coverage in this vaccination, in this immunization. Okay, so this is a report by WHO. If there's a question, the question is not going to come confined to this section only. कुछ भी क्वेश्चन हो सकता है कि लाइक इज द हेल्थ केयर सेक्टर ऑफ इंडिया हैज इम्प्रूव, तो आप एक ये एग्जांपल डाल सकते हो व्हाट that according to WHO report, India has reported what? A record of 93% of DPT3 immunization coverage in 2022. Nobody can deny this report because this has been the report from WHO. ठीक है? So diphtheria में issues क्या होते हैं? Now the issues are about your breathing issue आता है, heart failure का issue आता है. Pertussis में it's about painful stiffening of muscles. Diphtheria में it's about breathing issues. Pertussis में it's stiffening of muscles. Tetanus सुना हुआ है? What is tetanus about? Oh, sorry. Tetanus का it's this stiffening of muscles. Pertussis का सुना हुआ है? क्या सुना हुआ है? It's a whooping cough. ठीक है? So for this immunization is done. Now the coverage rate for DPT3, the third dose of diphtheria, pertussis and tetanus vaccine in India rose to an all-time 93% in 2022, surpassing the previous pre-pandemic that was 91% that was recorded. Now WHO and UNICEF estimates for national immunization coverage showed that in Southeast Asia region, the coverage rate of DP3 recorded to the pre-pandemic level was 91%. The number of zero dose to children, that means 2022 में इतना आपका coverage था from 4.6 million in 2021. Similarly, the number has been increased in vaccination of the children. This can be majorly attributed to the efforts being made by India, and in South Asia regions, efforts made by India and Indonesia. ठीक है? तो इंडोनेशिया का भी दिया हुआ है, but not that important. We need to know about India. चलो बताओ. अब मैं नहीं बताऊंगी, अब तुम बताओगे. Quality completed. हाँ, क्या है न्यूज, क्या है? What is the news about? पढ़ दो यार, न्यूज तो पढ़ दो. Start reading. SC Collegium's quiet transparency is driving change. What is Collegium? What is Collegium? सुना है? Heard about it? नहीं सुना? सुना है? You? सुना है? You? Princess? चलो, what is Collegium about? हाँ, इन्होंने ही बोला है. हाँ, और कहेंगे सच बोलने की इतनी बड़ी पनिशमेंट. What is Collegium all about? Why is Collegium system brought in? Yeah, what does this Collegium system do? Suman, what does it do? अरे ना वेरी नॉर्मल नोट आई एम आस्किंग. कुछ तो मैं पूछ भी नहीं रही हूँ तुम लोग से कि इसका इफेक्ट क्या होगा या फिर टेल मी द क्रिटिकलिटी विद दिस कोलेजियम. कुछ भी नहीं पूछी, बस इतना ही पूछी व्हाट इज कोलेजियम. हाउ आर जजेस अपॉइंटेड? थोड़ा सा तो याद आ ही गया मैम. मिनाल कहाँ गायब हो गया? फिर उसको बुखार हो गया. उसका नंबर देना, जरा बताती हूँ मैं उसे. उसको बोल देना कि आप जब घूमने जाया करें तो हमको बता दिया करो सबको, हम भी चले जाएंगे. चलो, SC Collegium. Now, what is Collegium all about? Collegium is responsible for what? Appointment of judges in higher judiciary. Appointment. Appointment of judges. Appointment of judges in higher judiciaries. Now, this is a collegium which appoints judges in higher judiciary. Who are the members of this collegium? CGI and four senior most judges. क्या किसे? तो अच्छी बात है, अगर पता है और मैं बता रही हूँ, उसमें अगर कुछ गलत होगा तो बोल देंगे, उसमें क्या है. अच्छा, what is the issue with this collegium system? इशू क्या है? क्या? स्पीक स्लोली. नहीं, ऐसे नॉर्मली पूछ रही हूँ कि इफ इट इज अबाउट द CJI and its senior judges, do you find there is any issue in this collegium system? क्या? एक सेकेंड. कुछ टाइम पहले अभी न्यूज आई है, तभी तो बता रही हूँ. हमेशा से. हाँ, how 5 members of the judiciary can decide कि आने वाला converts kind of promoting nepotism. वो अपने जो होते हैं मतलब relatives उनको भी जमीन बना देते हैं. कभी-कभी नहीं, most of the time. हाँ, तो system is nepotism as well, and there is no outside body. आप किस basis पे किसको select कर रहे हो, there is no कुछ information about it. अच्छा. अभी गवर्नमेंट में एक नया एक्ट तो पास कर दिया, इसमें 3 members from गवर्नमेंट साइड. There should be 6 members. ऐसा कुछ है. Okay, so government is suggesting कि instead of collegium there should be what? Representative from the other bodies also. जिससे क्या होगा? There will be more transparency in the recruitment of judges to the or appointment of judges in the higher judiciary. ठीक है. So do you also think that the issue is there? What is the changes? सुमन समझ आ रहा है? Have you done this collegium system? बोल क्यों नहीं रहे हो? आप ही लोग बोल दो. नहीं, the point is that you should be able to relate the static portion with the current portion. So if you are knowing about the collegium system, you should also know what is the issue behind having this collegium and what could be the changes that would help in better governance of the country. That is what she said, ki there is only representation, or there is only people who are from judiciary who are appointing judges at higher judiciary. Then they are saying that the government is saying that there should be there should be representation from the other wings also, other bodies also. So this would lead to more of transparency. Okay, so why you need to do this article is that you should know that whether it will be evitable to bring other branches of this governance in recruitment of, appointment of judges or not. And if it is, then how will it help it out? And if not, then why not? You should have answer to all the questions. ठीक है, जैसे आपने कहा कि मैम दे आर मेकिंग और दे आर अपॉइंटिंग जजेस हु आर देयर ओन ब्लड रिलेटिव्स. ठीक है, बट देन जुडिशरी इज अ कंप्लीटली डिफरेंट ब्रांच. तो अगर आप उसमें गवर्नमेंट को ले आओगे, देन गवर्नमेंट विल स्टार्ट इंटरफेयरिंग. So do you think government interference is okay in judiciary? क्योंकि why? Because if you see any issue that is going, any issue that happens for a matter, for example, जब आपका फार्म प्रोटेस्ट हो रहा था, राइट? सो कोई भी इशू होता है, who is the deciding authority? Judiciary. अब उसमें भी if government is going to come in the appointment of judges, तो वो जज किसकी बात मानेगा? क्यों? बिकॉज उनका भी रोल है उसमें अपॉइंटमेंट में. So if you see, it is going to act as what? A double sword. Are you understanding? So you should have answer to every question. If it is okay, then why okay? If not okay, then why not okay? ठीक? So collegium is important. How gaps in cloud system configuration could expose sensitive user data. यहाँ पे आपका फिर से आ गया है क्या? पर्सनल डाटा प्रोटेक्शन बिल. वी हैव बीन डूइंग इट फॉर लॉन्ग. तो आपको अभी आने दो कि what they are thinking about, how they are going to introduce, etc. Then we'll do it in detail. But since the news is there, you should have this in your back of your mind that this is important. What is that? Data protection bill. Coral bleaching. Geography. अरे हाँ, geography चल रही है ना तुम लोग की? सारे क्वेश्चन के आंसर रहते हैं. मैम अभी वर्ल्ड कर रहे हैं, रुक जाओ अभी. जब वर्ल्ड का क्वेश्चन आएगा, अरे मैम इंडियन स्टार्ट हो गई. पहले पूछना चाहिए था आपको. वेरी स्मार्ट पीपल. अच्छा, व्हाट इज कोरल ब्लीचिंग अबाउट? एक दिन क्या हुआ था, यहाँ पे मॉनसून का पूरा पिक्चर लगा हुआ था. आई एंटर्ड द क्लास एंड आई सेड, ओ आज हम लोग मॉनसून पढ़ रहे थे. मैम अभी मत पूछिएगा, अभी कुछ याद नहीं. जस्ट एंटर्ड द क्लास एंड द क्लास हैज गॉट ओवर. अभी मैम अभी कुछ याद नहीं है, पूछिएगा बाद में पूछिएगा. व्हाट इज कोरल ब्लीचिंग अबाउट? हाँ, कोरल ब्लीचिंग, restoring. How? Coral bleach होगा ना, तो what is happening? The color is getting pale. Coral bleaching, look at the term ना, coral bleaching. क्यों बोला इन्होंने? See, record temperature around the world have left animals including humans in dire straits. of them, corals are particularly vulnerable. When the water around them becomes too warm, they are susceptible to bleaching. And when coral lose their vibrant colors and turn white, this is what I said, कि coral bleaching is going to lead to what? Pale colors. जो उनका beautiful colors है, that is going to bleach. ठीक है, bleach का मतलब पता है ना? कपड़े को डाल दोगे bleaching में क्या होगा? Color gone. That is what they are saying. So they have bleached, and this appearance-based definition is valuable because corals are what? Attraction site for the observers. So what you need to know is, अच्छा zooxanthellae, अच्छा आप लोगों ने किया नहीं अभी तक. There is more to bleaching, however. Most corals are home to a type of algae called what? Zooxanthellae, which gives the coral their colors as well as have a symbiotic relationship with them. So zooxanthellae provides what? Amino acids. Now corals का जो color है, that is because of the presence of zooxanthellae. And what is zooxanthellae providing? Amino acids, sugars, and many minerals, and they also do what? They also provide CO2 in return. So when the ocean environment change, for example, if temperature rises, it becomes too acidic and becomes too bright, the zooxanthellae living within the corals leave as they do, and the coral fades until it appears to have been bleached. समझ आया? कोरल्स के अंदर रहते हैं कौन? zooxanthellae. What are those zooxanthellae doing? They are providing amino acids and minerals to those corals. ठीक, तो उसकी वजह से क्या होता है? The color of the corals come in. Coral polyps में colors that are उनकी वजह से आता है, ठीक है? And once the temperature goes very high, what is going to happen? वो जो zooxanthellae they leave. So what happens? The color of the corals get bleached. Done. Suvan, am I right? Why didn't you spoke then? Didn't want to get into this hazard. Chalo, ठीक है? Of course, it is one of the important sites for your tourist visit, and then it is going to attract other corals also into the area. अगर आप जब geography पढ़ोगे, you will study about coral reefs. You will study about barrier reefs. याद है? Suvan, where is the barrier reef present? Australia. Yes. So you will study about all this in geography and environment also. ठीक है? So this is about EV vehicles. ये भी हमने किया हुआ है. So you should know about EV vehicles because time is less. So I'm just telling you about the leftover articles. Indus Water Treaty, you will do it in your IR. Indus Water Treaty, इसको भी कर लेना, important है. Why? Because India and Pakistan के बीच में है this treaty. ठीक है, टाइम नहीं है वरना बता देती और. ओके, डिसेबल्ड अभी हम कर ही रहे हैं किसमें? सोशल एम्पावरमेंट. ओके, सो वहां पे आपका डिसेबल्ड पोर्शन इज कवर्ड and they are saying that they should have the right for the disabled and that cannot be denied. So that is what we are talking about in Indian society class. Okay, done. Thank you.